We are going to visit the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque and Topkapi. I took very few pictures in the mosques, and so I included things that I wasn't expecting. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time showing you things that made a great impression on me, even though it's not these landmarks yet. These are the flights that we made in country. On small planes, and our handlers, our tour guides, two of them who you'll meet in the program, were with us the whole time. Here's some things that sound familiar. First of all, they would like us to call the country Turkiye because they don't want English speakers to associate it with the bird. And I'll say Turkey many times, I'm sure, because I don't speak Turkish, and it's hard to keep doing that. So we've got a population of 88 million in the whole country. Most people are ethnic Turks. Kurds are the largest minority. Officially a secular state, Turkey is majority Muslim. The current president, Erdogan, and the capital, smaller population than Istanbul. Erdogan, the Turkish alphabet, the pronunciation of G with that pronunciation key over it, it's silent. And something we know about Erdogan, he has been in power for over 22 years. He started out as prime minister and then became president. Something that was impressed on me, one of the way he rose to power was making himself a friend of the people. He gave them things that were important to them, things that they liked, and this helped him climb to where he is today. Sure. We're going to flip through these. I don't know, did I put it down? Well, there are only a few words on the screen, so I don't need a pointer, but it's Joy, so I better find it. One thing that's so fascinating about the country is that they actually have things you can see from the Greek period, the Roman period. The Byzantine period is Roman, which is a little confusing. They put the name Byzantine on it after the fact, but when we talk about the Byzantine era, that is actually the Eastern Roman Empire. Then the Ottomans came in. So what we're familiar with is, most people remember that when Constantine, emperor of Western Rome, it was going into decline, and that's when he moved the capital from Rome to Byzantium and named it Constantinople. This Eastern Roman Empire lasted over 1,000 years until 1453. In 1453, the Ottomans conquered. This was the time of the Sultans, and they were in power for another 600 years. The Sultanate ended with the Ottomans and the Turks. That's not the same thing. The Ottomans refers to the Sultans. The Turks kicked the Ottomans out, and that's how they ended the Sultanate in 1922. Then there was a war of independence. It was ugly. And their favored father, Ataturk, who founded the Republic, was a very unusual person. He brought enormous reforms and was very forward-thinking. He established the Republic as a secular state. And so then we've got our Erdogan. So let's flip through. Turkey boasts 22 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. In some cases, it's not a building, it's an entire county. Next. So here's where Istanbul is located. The city itself has the Bosphorus Straits running through it. On the European side, on the European side is where we find the historical buildings. This newer part on the Asian side, we're joining Europe with Asia. Remind ourselves, we've got the Black Sea on the north, the Mediterranean on the south, the Aegean. This is all salt. Water everywhere and not a drop to drink. The reason that they were able to, the population was able to grow and that this area thrived was because they found ways to bring water to the residents, to the people living in the city. And some were very ingenious. We'll see some of that. Go ahead. Here's the Bosphorus. Go ahead. The Horn, the Golden Horn, we've got, this is the historical part, and Europe, Asia. This area was important in trade from the beginning of human development. Next. Here are just some of our favorite things showing all that's going on there. Next. The new airport is really something. I call it splendiferous. If you've traveled there before 2018, you wouldn't have seen this yet. This is a slide. This is an image from the internet because you couldn't get far back enough in order to take a picture of it. Next. Isn't that pretty? So when I arrived, I was alone. I'm walking through this beautiful building, following the signs for a taxi, and it's very well organized. They have somebody there and the cabs are lined up, and they put you in, and you don't have to worry about overpaying because they have standard rates, and you know what to expect. The drivers do not speak English. I carried local currency and paid everything in cash. Now, I was in this beautiful Istanbul airport going to the Middle East in 2022, but I never saw the building from the outside or like this because I was in the gates just changing planes. So I was seeing it for the first time. Next. This is from the internet. It's so big. I want to tell you what they're going to be doing. They're calling it the new 5-star airport. The initials are IST, world's best based on energy efficiency. It was fully open to the public in April of 2019. It is the largest privately owned airport. Currently employs 40,000 daily workers in all categories, and this will grow to over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs. Total retail space, currently 600,000 square feet of duty-free space, featuring about 1,000 luxury and other brands. But that's only the beginning. Once it's fully completed around 2027, they propose that the airport's going to have 4 terminal buildings with interconnecting rail access that combine for a total indoor area of 34 million square feet. The airport will also have parking capacity for 500 aircraft, up to 70,000 cars, VIP lounges, cargo and general aviation facilities, a state palace, a medical center, aircraft rescue and firefighting stations, hotels, a convention center, power plants, and a wastewater treatment facility, providing direct and indirect employment for 225,000 people. So, obviously, everything I'm telling you tonight is either what I looked up or what our guides told us. So, I was learning at the same time. Go ahead. I'm getting familiar with my neighborhood. This is the Barcelo, the hotel that I stayed in. My cab driver had never taken anybody to this hotel before. When I learned about the terrible difficulty he knew the spot that he had to get to, but couldn't get to it. And that's when I came to realize that when you have a body of water running through the city, it controls the roads that you can make. He had such difficulty getting there. But it is in the middle of the hotel district. After I moved in, I saw that tour buses who have to be there all the time, they know how to find it. Go ahead. This is beautiful, beautiful lobby. Go ahead. All of the fittings are marble, not tile. Tile around the tub, marble on the tub. Next one. Even for the toilet and the shower. And I had all this space just for myself. Yeah, next. Because I was traveling single. Next. This was just one station. We had breakfast there every morning, and there were lots of stations. We only ate breakfast in the hotel. All of our other meals were outside. Next. So I'm taking a walk to the main square, Taksim Square. And when I walked out of the hotel front door, I was surprised to see Blumberg on the building across the way. Next. So I'm taking a walk to the square, which is just a short mile. Here's what I'm seeing as I go. Next. You'll see some words in English. Next. So we've got English, obviously, for the exchange office, but we'll see others too. Next. Next. Okay, so I arrive at the square, which is enormous. And this is one of the first things I see. This mosque that is obviously in the picture is new, and that's something that was constructed recently. And the pictures that we're going to go through right now are all taken, me walking around in this square. Go ahead, please. You start to get an idea of how big it is. Go ahead. A little close-up. Inaugurated in 2021. That's brand spanking new. Can you imagine it holds 100,000 people? Go ahead. I'm looking at the people and observing. I'm looking at women who are not wearing headscarves. Next. There's a metro station in the square. Go ahead. This is an elevator. That big thing on the left is actually where you get your ticket. Next. GC Park. This is all on the edge of Taksim Square. Go ahead. This is a vagrant. I think he stayed there during the night. Next. This play lot is inside the square, or in the park. Next. The people enjoy it. Next. This is the same fellow. Next. There is a police station in the park or the square, an open-air police station. Go ahead. Continuous police presence. They're going to make sure that there's no popular protests. And yes, I observed the riot gear and they had everything they needed at their disposal. Yeah, next. It was funny to see an open police station like this with all their vehicles. Next. So you know that they have women on the police force. Next. This was one eatery inside in the park. Next. And this was still in the park. See the little red cart over here? This is my landmark. That's how I'm going to find the particular path back to my hotel. Next. These trees found in different places throughout the country. They're called London plane trees, hundreds of years old. So you can imagine that when they're doing new construction, they try to avoid losing them. Next. Okay, there's my cart, my road back. There's lots of streets leading to the square, and this one just helped me get my bearings. Next. Here we've got not only women wearing full robes, but over here, we've got a mom and a daughter. The mother's traditional, and the daughter's not wearing anything. Next. Yeah, lots of eateries. Okay, so I'm traveling alone, and I'm going to be need some food within a period of 36 hours. And so I check out, some of these different eateries. It turned out that a restaurant that was not a Burger King, but that was, local fare, I was able to go in and pick something from their menu and ask, can you make me up a dish to take out? Yes, they sat me down. They were just as, they were welcoming and friendly, and they packed me up something, and that's how I had my dinner that night. Next. This is the square again. A group visiting, and the memorial about the Republic being formed. Next. The Republic Monument commemorating 1923. Next. A little close up. Next. Next. Okay. The trolley, they did this just to a nicety for people to see, locals or tourists. Meet our two guides. Nadia is a permanent resident. She lives in Florence with her husband, and she has two big kids. And she works with the headquarters that's in Chicago remotely. She was with us the whole time, and Halil, our local guide, he was with us the whole time. They took care of us and not only got us our boarding passes and arranged, got us through the airports. They did more than that. We were in places where we didn't have phone connectivity, and Halil put me on his hotspot, or whatever it is that he had, that his personal power for getting on the internet so that I could get my email. Next. This is a mosque that was built next to the Spice Bazaar. The idea is that the money made in the Spice Bazaar was supposed to support the mosque, all of their expenses and the people who lived there, their food and everything else. Next. Now, here we have the Spice Bazaar right next door. We're also going to have a shot of the Grand Bazaar, but they took us to the Spice Bazaar first because it's a place people like a lot. It's friendly, and also Halil knew people there, and he took us into a shop where he thought we would be comfortable buying tea and spices. Next. Next. Okay, so here we are entering the Spice Bazaar. These are people in my group, many of them. Next. So we've got some locals, entering the metal detector along with the rest of us. Hold it a second. This is, I noticed the languages. They've got, besides Turkish and English, we've got Arabic and then German. Next. Next. Okay. I don't know how they make it so light on the inside, but it's all covered. Go ahead. All the silver shop. Next. There's Halil again and some of my friends. Next. I wasn't tempted. Yeah. Next. It looks like places in the Middle East, and I will say that all these shopkeepers, they're not aggressive. They're not aggressive. They don't go after you, and so you can just be leisurely and enjoy it. Next. These different views. Next. These are lanes off beyond the covered mall, and they're just continuous shops on all these different little streets. Next. Okay, now we're going to look at the Grand Bazaar. Up to 400,000 visitors daily. Okay. But the fact that this was built in 1455, the significance is that this was this first sultan, he was a great builder, and he saw a lot of important things go up in the city. Next. So here's what the entrance to the Grand Bazaar looks like. Next. It's exciting being there. Everything is just pretty. Next. This is a mosque that you might not have thought about going to. They took us because it's important. Okay, so calling it a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture. To identify it from the others, it's either called the Grand Mosque or the Suleimani Mosque, but it is the largest from the Ottoman era, and it's a complex. So 1557, this is like modern times. Next. Here we are outside it. The building is beautiful. Halil is standing there with us. Next. Tried to get a picture of, I just found it very pretty. Next. This is inside the courtyard, same place. Next. Interior. Everything is enormous. Next. This said something funny. Visitors are kindly requested to stay behind the line. Next. Next. I don't know who's in these. Different mosques do have people, mostly sultans, tombs in them. Next. The tile work. Next. Next. This is in the courtyard there. Next. This was a little extra stop. This mosque, 16th century, was to show us what it felt like to go into one that was smaller, and we actually, we did take our shoes off, and we had to be dressed appropriately. But Suleiman the Magnificent, apparently this one was built for him. It's small inside. Next. These folks are just coming out and finding their shoes. Next. Okay. Now we're going to take a boat ride. We were on a few different boats. This is a cruise on the Bosphorus Strait. the 3 suspension bridges connecting the 2 continents. Next. Let's see. Okay, this just is dates like a reminder to me. Next. Next, we're okay with that. This is out of place. Skip that one, please. Okay. This is odd. Joy, keep going. Okay, here we are on the boat. Passing all these beautiful things. We're right in the middle of the city, just taking a boat. We're going to watch out for some of the bridges. Next. Views from the water. What a great way to see the city. Next. What do you think of that? Yeah, beautiful. Next. So, 5,000 feet long, connecting Europe and Asia across the Bosphorus Strait. Completed in 1973, it was the first bridge to span the strait. The main span between the towers is 3,000 feet long. It's just used for vehicular traffic. Okay, next. Okay, this made an impression. They wanted a rail tunnel under the water. Okay? It was constructed by submersing gigantic tubes, completed in 2013. This was a tremendous feat, and I just read that something different about it. Instead of round the tubes, the tunnel, it's square inside, which required greater technical advancements. Next. This was a video that I could watch. This is it, the tunnel, double-deck toll tunnel for vehicular traffic connects the 2 sides of Istanbul, opened in 2013. 3.4 miles under the water and 9 miles in total length. The video starts on the highway, approaching it, and then it's a camera on a car, and the video is 7 minutes long, going all the way, going the 7 miles. Next. Okay, so we're on the boat and looking at all of these beautiful edifices. Next. 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 This made a big impression on me. So this is Roman, not Constantine, but Emperor Justinian. He built an aqueduct. This was about bringing drinking water to the city. They have cisterns, thousands of them that they have found that were in use back, over the centuries. Let's see if it tells how much water's in there. They brought water to the city, 350 kilometers of waterways throughout the city. And the water is not coming from the Bosphorus. It must be rainwater. Next. Okay. Is it Hagia Sophia? Is it Hagia Sophia? It's Hagia Sophia. And what they call it is Hagia. If you say Hagia, that's what they're talking about. So it started out as a church. What happened when when the Ottomans came in? They added minarets. They messed up some of the Christian features, including mosaics, but they have recovered some of it. It was made a museum in 1934, and it remained a museum for 86 years. But Erdogan changed it back to from its museum status and decreed it a mosque for worship as well as open to visitors. So what's going on there now is it's open to the public. The tourists from all over the world enjoy it. They have a separate entrance for Turkish people or any Muslim who wants to pray there. Not only do they have a separate entrance and a separate room to give them space for religion, the men and women are separated. On Fridays or any day when the men go to the mosque to pray, they don't sit with their women. Next. So, Hagia Sophia means Holy Wisdom of God, and that's referring to Jesus. It's really a beautiful building. So the Hagia has 4 minarets and these beautiful gardens outside. Next. Here we are walking up to it. Next. It's very busy inside. Oh, that sign tells you how to use the internet to get information about them. Next. The mosaics are really something. Next. It's really mind-blowing. Next. 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 Okay, here's a place where they were able to preserve some of the Christian mosaics. Next. 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 Oh, okay. Go back one, and let's stay in the Hagia for a moment. Joy, go back one slide. Go back one. Okay, thanks. Now, when I was taking art history in college, our art history teacher said, how do you suppose they were going to put a dome on a square base? Well, I tried to picture that, and I came up with nothing. She said, take an orange and cut the sides off.
What's that?
It's an orange.
An orange.
Orange peel.
Square orange.
This is grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
It's a new breed.
So you have 4 pillars coming down on the square base. Isn't that cool? Now, the Duomo in Florence was constructed 900 years later, and St. Peter's in Rome 1,050 years later. Each of these was constructed in a different way. Spoiler is that the Pantheon in Rome, not the Parthenon, not talking about the Parthenon in Greece, I'm talking about the Pantheon in Rome, which was built in the 2nd century AD, is still the largest concrete dome. Okay, but this was very innovative. Okay. This was so interesting. We've got this largest of the underground reservoirs. It was built under the Hippodrome. It just held so much water. They were able to, and it was renovated over time. This was part of the system of being able to provide water in the city. Next. fairly recently made into a tourist destination. And they keep just a small amount of water. Okay, next. Okay, so you've, film companies have used this underground this cistern. It was in From Russia with Love and Inferno or something, a number of different films. There's a Medusa, there are two Medusa heads in it. This is one of them. But these are original. This isn't something that they came up with recently. This was from when, centuries ago. Next. Okay, the Blue Mosque. Now that we're in the 1600s, it sounds really recent. Built as a Byzantine church before it became, the Aya was built as a church first, but the Blue Mosque was built as a mosque, and it has 6 minarets. Next. Okay. The mosque in Mecca has 6 minarets. When this one was constructed with 6 minarets, that was a problem. And the way they solved the problem is they added a 7th to the one in Mecca, and the guy who built this one paid for it. Next. So they're near each other, this gorgeous plaza, as you approach the Blue Mosque. Next. Next. This was my favorite because one reason I thought it was so stunning, it wasn't busy like the Aya. Much less going on inside in general. Next. 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 Okay, we're out of the mosques. It's a matter of logic as to why ceramics are so important. You had to make vessels if you were going to transport olive oil or anything. So, and this was a major trade route. An anecdote was the only way a man could rise from his class status was by marrying into a ceramic family. But there was a test. You had to produce a pot that had a lid, and it had to fit perfectly. Next. So we're visiting a well-known ancient pottery workshop. Next. Next. These beautiful contemporary things they're making. Next. 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 Okay. This underground city is something that a place that people do like to go to see. So the story is much like the farmer who found the emperor's soldiers in China. Okay. In 1972, a local farmer discovered the underground city built by the people of the Byzantine Cappadocia. His excess crop water was disappearing, which led him to discover an underground chamber. Later excavated, the whole city was revealed. It could house 60,000 people for 3 months. 4 floors are now open with a total of 10 floors and a depth of 130 feet. The importance at the time was that Christians could find refuge here because there were Arab and Ottoman Muslims. They were forever, they were the minority, and so they were targets. But the soft volcanic rock was could be carved, and so it provided a haven. Each carved room had pipes that provided ventilation for survival during a siege of the city. There were holes above the tunnels used for dumping hot sand on the enemy. We saw a water well, ventilation system, winery, and movable stone doors. Next. It's a lot of fun visiting here. Next. There we are. You can just see how they would carve into this soft rock. Next. 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 Okay, this was one of our gals. That was how you made a door. Next. Okay. How many of you got to Cappadocia? Yay, I love them. Cappadocia, land of the beautiful horses. We come here to see volcanic formations. Let's take a look. Next. Okay, the rock formations of Cappadocia date back to their formation 2.5 million years ago. Turkey is magical and the fantasy abounds in Cappadocia. It is celebrated for its unique rocky landscape. Göreme National Park is an open-air museum in the Cappadocia region. You can explore cave churches and frescoes from the 10th to 12th century. Halil is from Cappadocia. His family lives there. His parents are there. And he went to university there. Next, let's take a look. Okay. So the early inhabitants were Jews and early Christians who were scattered to this geographic area. They used the unique cave formations for refuge during periods of persecution. The rock formations are primarily made of tuff, a soft porous rock formed from volcanic ash that has been covered by a layer of harder basalt. Over millions of years, wind and water have eroded the softer tuff, leaving behind the distinctive conical shapes, the fairy chimneys, hoodoos. The harder basalt cap has slowed the process of erosion. The region was covered by a thick layer of ash from nearby volcanoes, which solidified into tuff. This soft rock was easy to carve, which allowed people to create their homes and churches and underground cities. This captivating open-air museum, you can walk inside tiny churches that were carved out of the rocks by a monastic community and decorated with frescoes in the Byzantine period. At Love Valley, see the whimsical fairy chimneys and explore a village cut into the rock. Next. All those nice little caves that you could duck into. Next. In this town, where this is where you find Göreme National Park. Next. Open Air Museum. Next. This is the only place in the world where you would see this, as far as I think. Next. I wondered why they called this Love Valley until I got there. Next. 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 The landscapes. Next. 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 Yeah, it's pretty high, going all the way up. Next. All these decorations that you see carved into it, this is all original. Next. Next. That's an underground toilet. Next. Next. This is, the little town. Next. Now, this is the hotel where we stayed. We stayed inside the rocks. The thing on the left that looks like a hotel is where we stayed, not in the rough part. Next. This is all part of the hotel. Next. This is the entrance to my room. Next. Do you see those steps that are made on an angle? I did not fall because I fell in Tel Aviv on one of these in the dark. So I was real careful. When you make steps that don't go straight across like people might expect, you have to be real careful not to step back. Next. The room was, like a monk's cell, kind of, but much nicer, of course. There's a door to the little balcony. Oh, there was a TV, but we did not get internet there. And the door to get into the room, not a room card, it was one of those ancient keys that you use in the lock. Next. Marble, again, nice modern bathroom, yes. Next. You could wash out clothes and leave them outside to dry very quickly. Next. It's all part of this. Next. Next. Okay, now, I had to get this from the internet. Some of the people in my group paid to take the balloon ride. But it doesn't go if the weather's bad. The weather was bad. And they had gotten up at 5 o'clock in the morning and taken a bus to get there. And not only did they not get to go, people who had other tourists who had tickets for the next day, same thing happened. They didn't get to go either. Next. This was just outside the hotel or nearby. Next. Next. Yeah, it was funny. Next. Okay. Halil, who is a native of Cappadocia, said, "Mom, I bring these groups through and you love to cook. Wouldn't you like to do a lunch or a meal for tourists?" And she and her sister and her daughter-in-law, they do that. So our group of 19, we had a home visit, and they put on this beautiful spread, and I think they do sit on the floor. They gave us things that were a little bit taller to sit on, and it was delightful. Next, as far as seeing them. So Halil didn't tell us, but he asked his wife to come and stop by with their children. They have boy-girl twins who were 8 years old at the time. So this is us still in his mom's house. Next. You know they're going to take us to rug manufacturers. Okay, next. It was interesting. These are plants and things they used to make the dyes. Next. Next. Yeah, here he is using that machine. And these women are part of a dying generation who know how to do this work. This was a regular work day for them. Next. This, this was obviously glass blowing, this beautiful chandelier in this place. The people I was with were mostly younger than I am, but they were retired, and because it was associated with Johns Hopkins, I was the only one who wasn't a medical doctor. They were either doctors, retired doctors, or married to a doctor. And they were downsizing and outfitting new residences for themselves, condos, whatever. And they bought rugs. Next. Okay, we did see the whirling dervishes. This was put on as and they went through the whole ritual. And afterwards, we saw them walking in the, open street in their street clothes and realizing it's a performance, okay? And they are, paid actors to perform it. Next. 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 This was another small boat ride. We're off. Next. Let's see where we're going. Next. 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 We're going to have 3 nights and 2 days on the Aegean. That first little boat was to get us to the place where we would get this boat. It was called a gullet, G-U-L-E-T. I don't know if you've heard of that. I never had. Next. That's a gullet. Next. The gullet actually stopped in some places, and people got off and went swimming and having fun in the water. Next. We had all of our meals on this little boat, and it was good catering. It was very nice. Next. The accommodations, I had 2 of these beds in a cabin that was about the size of this screen. And the only thing that was really funky about the accommodation is that when you turned on the shower, the water only spilled out on the floor inside the room. It didn't stay in the bathroom. So I put a towel down or something so that I could shower and mop up the water. Next. There we are. There's the shower. Next. Cleopatra Island. Okay. This is, supposedly Cleopatra and Anthony did come here. There was talk about, it was her favorite place because it was so beautiful, and either she commissioned sand to be brought there to make a beach, or he brought the sand for her. It's of great interest archaeologically. Next. This amphitheater from 400 before the Common Era, pre-Roman. Very picturesque. Next. Here we are. This is Cleopatra Beach. Next. Okay, we're getting the mountain weaving shop. Next. Yeah, they were offering us snacks all along the way. This was on the front porch before we went into the weaving room. Next. This was the second and the only other rug seller that we visited. People who didn't buy it the first one and had second thoughts got a second shot at it. Next. Next. Bodrum is the little port where these goulettes go in and out of. Next. It reminded me of Carmel. Next. We finally made it to Ephesus. Okay. The ancient port city was founded around 1,000 years before the Common Era by the Greeks. But settlements date back to at least 8,000 years ago. It saw major growth under Roman rule. Ephesus was deserted and forgotten by the 15th century due to a silted harbor and earthquakes. It was ruined and preserved under volcanic ash, but unlike Pompeii, the residents had left so that the people were not killed. Next. This is where Halil's getting her tickets. Next. Next. Okay, this beautiful, display showing you all around Ephesus. Next. There's so much that is in good condition to visit. Next. This is called the Library of Celsus. Next. So the Romans expanded the Greek amphitheater. Next. 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 Wonderful artists in every tongue. Next. They have animals everywhere as part of their landscape. Dogs and cats, they are just friendly towards them. They're very tolerant people. Next. Next. Imagine from Greece. Next. Even though there were a lot of tourists, it did not seem crowded. Next. 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 I was impressed because this was Greek, not Roman. Next. These are the public latrines, latrinas. This grew into the social baths, the public baths. Next. Yeah. But these became places like bathhouses where people came for socializing. Obviously, not men and women mixed. And I'm trying to remember whether or not there was a roof over it. But when you came, you paid a little bit of money, and you were given a sponge and something to scrub your back with or something, given the things that you would need to have your bathing there. Next. The terrace houses. Over 2,000 years old. These were rich people. Next. Okay. We're going to be climbing up and seeing some very well preserved, including the artwork. Next. Can you see the pattern in the floor? Next. The decorated tiles. I wonder if this is a cistern. Next. 4 levels. I mean, it was really high. Next. And what they were able to bring out as far as recovering. Next. Next. They had wallpaper and mosaic floors. Next. Next. There's the wallpaper. Next. Next. Oh, that's seating for the man and his wife. These are high up officials in their government. Next. 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 last stop is Topkapi Palace. The gardens outside made a great impression. So it was the imperial residence and administrative center of the Ottoman sultans for 4 centuries. Next. 200 Turkish lira. $2.38. Next. 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 Another, I guess, model. Next. Next. Looks very peaceful, and it was. Next.
Is that you?
No, I took it. Next. 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 Okay, I think this is, not the treasure. Next. I think, yeah, the entrance to the treasure. Next. That 86 carat diamond. Next.